This Friday at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are going to have our brand new deck box available to the public. And I think that this is probably one of my favorite projects we've done so far in the cosplay series. What you see is actually the front of the deck box. I do hope that people are going to like this. This is something that we've put a lot of effort into designing. And I think it's just going to be an absolutely gorgeous piece when it's done. But this is actually going to be the front of the deck box. So, guys, see you guys on Friday. So you guys can pick these up. Make sure you guys smash the little crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. So, we're starting off with an article today about some fake Kozmo leaks that have been going around because these were actually kind of affecting the market a little bit. Now, some of these leaks that were going around, you actually get to see, oh, hey, Kozmo cards, what is this? It's also really funny that they're using stuff from like the May magazine. And of course, this is verbatim text for Kozmo Town. The second spell is basically already something that is known down here, which is the Panther Warrior. And evidently the Kozmo Good Witch is cloned on top of it. Like, they made no effort to actively, push these cards out here. But I just want to remind people that, we see things like this all the time. I know people want new Kozmo support. It's crazy to see in 2026 that, we have fake Kozmo cards going around, and it is actively affecting the market. Now, I want to bring this up because diving into some of these Kozmo cards, this market has already been very, very notoriously bad for looking at quantities on these cards, as it has been. Dark Destroyer's already been on a loop-de-loop on up, but these are 21s right now, and still kind of, doing the spin words up just to kind of do its own thing here. But 25, 26, even $27 on Dark Destroyers isn't that unheard of in the current modern era. Now, Dark Eclipser, this thing was already not terrible in price. You're hitting the $10 to $11 mark, but there's still plenty of quantities of these doing their thing. Cosmo Dark Lady's also kind of doing the same thing here. You're pushing $6, $7 a copy, which doesn't feel too bad. Your Cosmo Farm Girls, though, these are kind of starting to get a little bit spooky. I will say that you can get these for $7s. It looks like these are about $7 a piece, okay? And then the gold rares, which, by the way, this is not a bad looking gold rare. I just want to phrase that. Like, it looks good, and I don't really feel bad about wanting to collect that. Dark Planets, RIP this card. Strawman, Strawmans are $4 to $5 a piece, depending on how you want to clump up the shipping on that, which is actually not too terrible. Kozmo Town itself coming in $2 to $3 now at this stage, which is pretty impressive because we've seen everything else from Astral Pack just spinning around, gaining so much value that, like, I'm actually surprised by that. Cosmojo this card, I'm honestly so surprised because there was a time years ago, like even going back a full year, this card, at most, it spiked up to $2. There was a time where these were solidly $8 to $10 a copy, but it did get reprinted, which did actually, I think, push it down. Dogfighters are very cheap. Slip Riders are sub $1. A lot of the quote-unquote gold rares from this era actually have done pretty well. Forerunner's also been doing pretty good on the secondary. Your gold Cosmo Towns are like 30 cents. Cosmo Dark Lady also just fairly recently got the reprint. There used to be a rumor that Konami wouldn't be able to print these again, but I think that rumor was debunked when Ghost from the Past reprinted Cosmo Dark Lady. So it is highly possible that they can, creep in these cards. Also, Cosmo Town did have a maximum gold reprint at a whole 12 cents. RIP that. Now let's get into the real juicy stuff. So, Adamancipator cards. I'm assuming in real time that these are going to continue to disappear, but right now, as we've been seeing as the night's been going, 14 on up to $20. You have an Italian copy listed back here at 25. I would not be surprised if you see, you know, the little back end of those actually disappearing. Looks like Adamancipator Dragites are still in stock. Adamancipator Friends, no matter how you want to spin this card, people are always going to look at this. I mean, it's... Adamancipator Friends has always been like the dream card. It's the one that everybody wants to work. It's the one that sometimes feels like it misses the mark. It's kind of a shame, I get it, but, you know, this is just the era we live in right now. But yeah, these are, I guess, starting to head up. Leonites are pretty cheap. Dragite reprints are cheap. The good news is, like, Adamancipator cards have been reprinted. I mean, Dragite's been reprinted into an OTS common at this stage. You really shouldn't be losing out too much on seeing these things. Also, Adamancipator Signs also has been reprinted. So we're already seeing, you know, decent value on these. But hey, solid rocks as always. Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. Well, when you are bridging into the existence of Genesis format right now, we got a board wipe that actually got unrestricted. Your trade-off for this incredibly broken effect within the limitations of that format is I have to main deck Kaijus. I have to play some sort of Kaijus. But the thing is, those Kaijus are still monsters that can provide you specific answers to threats. That's why I'm a little bit interested on, like, their mentalities that they were having when they were analyzing and looking at the format with the choices that they wanted to do. Because a lot of their discussion was, you know, if we're going to fix the format, you know, we're going to treat the Kaijus as individual cards, and we're not going to treat them together, even though they're able to serve different purposes. But Gamma Seal is able to do some pretty dumb things. And I mean, this isn't even, it's not experiencing great upticks, but it's enough. Just look at this in the last 2 days, people. There's enough people picking this card up and going, oh, hey, you know, Genesis format, I want 3 of this. And I know the people that are like, oh my God, you know, Genesis format's not worth anything. The Mighty cards get bought out for it, you know, strange. So keep that one on your radar. This one is very interesting to me. So I guess this has got to do with Genesis format as well, in terms of your discussion, because it comes down to right now $15 on up to $19, and this is just, it's got a solid push up for what it is. Actually, just kind of taking note of this, 6.8 and 6.9, you've had a lot of sales for this. Now, I do want to remind people, and this was the thing that I was noticing at the YCS when I was doing trades with people. Why do I want to spend that insane amount of money on QCRs when I can arguably come over here, get the Starlight for a fraction of the price, and feel like I'm getting a better deal? These are basically $2 to $3. If you can find a seller with multiples, you can get them way cheaper. So this is where I'm at right now. I can see comparable prices and rarities in terms of nicheness, but this is definitely one of those few cases that I would go probably for this version. I do like these. I think they're nice. This is ridiculous. So Edison players finally came to the realization, well, I guess I will accept, you know, quarter century. You had the one guy who was sitting there with his arms crossed. He's like, I guess I can get some quarter century cards because I don't like ultimates. And then, you know, you suddenly look at these are bought out. $120 a copy is ridiculous to see. I'm not surprised to see this actually happen. I mean, what's your highest sales here? $50 looks like it's your highest sales point that we've actually had. And these were just fairly recently being created off of the market. That's crazy. Tellarknights. I guess, should I be surprised about this? This is a $12 card. You had a dip down from $8. They've actually recovered up. You've had a couple, somebody just bought 3 for $20. You know, at the point, you kind of have to ask yourself, is it just worth it over time just to, you know, to buy them in individual sellers and save money? Because honestly, that's the way that this has been feeling. Like, it's crazy to me what people are willing to do to see these things. But this one's pretty wild, I guess, to say the least. So, all right. And then, of course, Goyo Guardian. There's no first editions on the market of these. That's it, folks. I am mad shocked to see that these have just no first hits. Okay. Well, that's all I got for today's market. I don't know what else to say, man. There's a lot of just craziness kind of happening right now within the space. Obviously, reveals are going to dictate a lot of this stuff every day, and I guess we just buckle up and hope for the best. Guys, keep a smile on your face, and I will see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace.
Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.